Hi, having watched Weapons at the weekend, the new release written and directed by Zach Cregger, I was motivated to watch his previous horror movie, Barbarian, which aired on television and is streaming on Netflix in the UK. It's the story of a young woman who arrives in Detroit for a job interview. She's rented an Airbnb, which turns out to be a bungalow like home in a rundown neighborhood. And when she arrives in the pouring rain, she finds that there's already someone there. He's rented it as well through a different service, and he's quite strange and off putting and odd. Even though he's friendly and polite, he has a strange manner to him that is somehow unnerving. And he demonstrates that, yes, he really did book the place there, and he shows her the email, and he offers her the bedroom, which has a lock on the door, so that she can stay the night and they can sort it out the following day. But she wakes in the night to find her bedroom door open, and the following day starts to investigate what's going on. Meanwhile, the actual owner of the house, an actor who's being accused of sexual assault, is attempting to liquidate his various properties to fund his upcoming legal case. So he goes to the house as well to try and see how much he can get for it. And he gets involved in the situation as well. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, like with Weapons, it's best to not look into any more of what it's about because something happens and it completely shifts what the movie is. And it's almost impossible, hopefully, to deduce what it is from what I've just said. But the movie is a horror, and it's it doesn't have the scale and the epic vision of Weapons, which definitely felt like an evolution for Cregger. But it does have greater focus in terms of what the movie is about, and it's definitely about male violence towards women. Keith, the young man in the house, appears to be absolutely on the level, absolutely honest, completely harmless and honest. But he is so odd and off putting that he's clearly putting no thought whatsoever into how his behavior is impacting other people. I was talking about the movie with a friend, and I said, he's definitely one of those people who, on an empty street in a city, late at night, will walk 10 feet behind another woman and won't think anything odd about it because he knows he's harmless. He knows he would never hurt a woman like that. Of course he wouldn't. But she doesn't know that, and he's not given any thought to the fact that she doesn't know that. As the film goes on, there are other elements of characters who have perpetrated violence against women, and our main character, Tess, experiences each of them in turn, and it it forms like a mosaic, almost the same way that Weapons forms a mosaic of the lives in this town. This forms a mosaic of patterns of male violence towards women, but in the context of a horror movie and showing the long-term consequences of what these patterns lead to. I thought it was well, first it was absolutely terrifying because I made the huge mistake of watching it at midnight in an empty house, which meant going to bed afterwards was rather more unnerving than it normally is. But I thought it was a really well thought out, cleverly assembled film. The fact that it was made for only $4 million is very impressive because it never looks cheap. And it's has strong performances, it has a really thoughtful set design. It's rare that you say that about set design, but this is cleverly thought out in how everything works and literally how it fits together. The music score was just the right kind of unnerving, and there's a flashback sequence where we jump back to the early 1980s and we meet a new set of characters, which ties neatly in with what's going on in the present day. And that sequence is shot in a completely different way to the rest of the movie. There's very stylized camera work, there's bright pastel colors. It's a really sharp contrast, and it shows that Cregger is really thinking through the context of what he's showing us. Color choices, costume choices, everything is thought through. He's not cut any corners on this by any means. And although this wasn't his first feature film, he previously, some years earlier, co directed a sex comedy called Mismatch, which I've not seen. This was his first film in some time and his first horror film. And it really shows he has put such care and effort into all the details that matter, and it results in a really interesting, fascinating film. It's rare that you see a horror movie like this, one that is, in its second half, absolutely terrifying, which nevertheless merits rewatching so that you can pick up on little details. I think it shows that, watched in tandem with Weapons, Cregger is a real talent, someone who is going to do great things on top of the great things he's already done. I'm very much looking forward to what he's got coming up, even if it is apparently yet another reboot of Resident Evil. I have no doubt that he'll work wonders with it.